When I was thinking of what to write, I could have written literally anything, provided it answered a question. I could do something related to history, but I was burnt out from my history essays. I could do something based on teaching, but it didn't seem appealing. Out of ideas and creative juices to write something, I hopped on a Minecraft server I shared with my friend. Recently, we have been building these beautiful fantasy cities. My current project for my city was a cathedral I had started, but never finished. I'd made some rules for its design. Anxious to mess it up, I sort of just stared at my unfinished build, imagining what it would look like when I decided to finish it someday. Then I realized my essay was staring me in the face. I was playing a sandbox game, with virtually no limits, but I was limiting and making rules for myself, based on how I wanted something to look. I think that addresses a core problem that people have, and it goes with a question. What is a limit? Why are we so insistent on placing them on ourselves? Really, how do we limit ourselves healthily? First, let's start with something I think we collectively all know. Limits can be a good thing or a bad thing. We need limits. We have internalized limits, like knowing when something is too heavy to carry, lest we end up hurting ourselves, or how much food we should eat in a day, so we don't starve but don't feel bloated. Those are examples of what I would call natural limits, things our body or mind do that keep us alive, and those are good limits. But other limits, like our potential and what we want to do or aspire to be, are unnatural limits, or self-imposed limits. I would tell you what they are, but we'll do this instead. Think of a time when you limited yourself based on an experience you had, or by some other means. You didn't want to go down some road because you associate the dark with something bad. Or maybe you don't want to think about doing something because of another experience and how that moment made you feel. The thing is, we can be limited or not by these things. And as Anita Houghton says, the danger of limiting beliefs is that they are blind spots. For the most part, we are unaware of them. That's why you'll feel a certain way about something, or feel you can't do something, but not always be able to explain why. For example, when I first came to college, I thought I wouldn't do well. I put a limit on myself. Right there. The limit was, I'll do good enough to pass. If I can just do good enough to pass, that'll be fine. The experience that limited me was my time in high school. Well, I had good grades, I knew college would be more difficult, and I tried to leave room for myself to crash and burn. And that was a bad self-imposed limit, because as it turned out, I did so much better than I thought I would. Something else Houghton mentions is limiting beliefs are not seen as such. They are seen as self-evident facts. This in itself is a limiting belief. The idea that you can choose what you believe is, for many, a difficult concept to deal with. Damn, you mean it's my fault I believe I can't do something and I don't know it? How do we deal with this problem of how we limit ourselves? Allow me to consult the Royal Library. Hmm. This one seems good. Why limit yourself? What if I fail and embarrass myself? Starting a business, writing a book, applying for a new job or a promotion? Anytime we declare our intentions to move toward a goal, we risk failing and having other people know we failed. What if I succeed and others are jealous? Sometimes what we fear isn't failure as much as success. We might worry that other people will assume we think we're a big shot or will envy us and that our relationships will change. What if I succeed at first but can't sustain it? By doing well, we increase others' expectations. We might worry we'll be a one-hit wonder and disappoint everyone, including ourselves. What if I find out I'm not as competent as I thought? Until we try to reach and achieve a goal, we can always tell ourselves we're capable of reaching it. On some level, we have infinite potential. The proof comes once we go for it. If we fail, we've revealed the limits of our abilities. Self-handicapping is a common way we try to hold on to that sense of potential. I didn't give it my best, so maybe I really could have done it. Go build the cathedral, bro. Alright, fine. Dr. Gillihan brings up a great point. Until we try to achieve something, we can always tell ourselves we have the ability to do something. It's until we test that ability that we see our limits. If our self-imposed limits are based on fear, and what we think we can't do, to solve this problem, we have to try and do something that might seem impossible. Let's finish up here. I'd like to quote one of my favorite pieces of poetry, the end poem written by Julian Go. Too strong for this dream. To tell them how to live is to prevent them living. Go wrote the end poem for the game Minecraft, and every time I've read it, it's honestly made me cry a little bit. Okay, maybe a lot. But I think that specific line, to tell them how to live is to prevent them from living, addresses the problem. We are the voices of this poem. We tell ourselves how to live, how to do things, even if subconsciously for the better or not. So we limit ourselves healthily based on what we are naturally limited by our strength, our intuition, and sometimes our past experiences. However, what we tell ourselves we can't do because we'll mess something up or because we aren't good enough yet is within our control and can be unhealthy. So the next time you feel like you can't do something or are anxious about messing something up, remember to ask yourself, is it physically impossible or am I just saying I can't? I guess I better start work on the cathedral.